welcome back to the second episode of Morning Coffee Show. I'm very excited to see you guys again after a while. It's been a while since we last spoke. My previous guest was one of my friend from Canada, with whom we spoke about some of the topic in the light of Christian perspective. So today I have another guest who is from France, one of my dear friend as well. I will let her introduce herself.
Hello everyone, my name is Prisca-Sarah. Like Prejol'a said, I am French, and I am 31 years old. I work in marketing at the moment. So I had a master's degree in marketing. I lived in the UK for a while, and started kind of my career there. And then I left everything to go into missions. Until 2020, where I moved back to France after maybe almost 9 years living abroad. So I've been readapting to France for the past 2+ years.
Okay, great.
And
that's perfect. So I'm very happy to see you again. Thank you for sparing some time talking with me. Highly appreciate it. So, for those of you who might have connected for the first time on this broadcast, I will give you a quick overview on what we do here. So, it's a podcast where we talk about normal topic, daily life topic, in the light of in a Christian perspective, and always I'm always inviting some of the person I know all around the world with whom we talk about different topics. It might be about education, it might be about all daily life topic, but in a light of a Christian perspective. So today, my special guest here, we're going to talk together about one of the topic about how being a missionary can impact, how you can impact the world, that's the correct words, by being a missionary for God. So she have much time to talk about her experience as a missionary in the past, and she will share with us her testimony, how it was for her to be a missionary, living abroad and serving God in different countries. So before going into nitty-gritty, I will let you just, Prisca, if you don't mind, give us a quick overview. Based on what I know, you were a missionary. Is that correct?
yes, I was a missionary full-time from 2018 to 2020.
Okay, that's perfect. So I think you've worked out. I think I would say some kind. You've been a missionary in a boat, and I don't know how do you, what was the name of this boat on which you were a missionary? I think it's I forgot the
Yeah.
name.
So I was a missionary for 2.5 years with OM, which is Operation Mobilization. That's the name of
Mm-hmm.
the organization.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a ship which is called Logos Hope.
Like
Now
a
they
soap.
have two
Okay.
ships,
Okay.
but I was on Logos Hope. So I was a crew member and I was the ship's journalist. And obviously I was a missionary on that ship for 2 years. And I was also with OM UK for a few months. So from
Okay.
February to June 2020. So I was with OM for 2.5 years.
That's pretty interesting to know, because I think I will have a couple of questions for you. By starting by saying that we as a Christian, we've God somehow granted us with a mission to go and to share gospel of God, to be also impactful in not only in our family but also in our neighborhood. What at that very time? What was your perspective? Why did you decide to leave your family somehow and to go into a missionary somewhere in the world?
Mm. I think it was kind of a long process.
Okay.
When I became a Christian, that was 15 years ago. I think the very first time God broke my heart for something was when I discovered Open Doors, the
Okay.
organization Open Doors, and I realized that Christians were the most persecuted in the world, and I just became a Christian, so those were my brothers and sisters. And at that time, I had this feeling of one day I want to be a missionary with them and I want to make a difference. But I thought maybe way into the future when I'm 40 or older, and like maybe if I have a husband or something. And I mean, I was always involved in the church, so I was doing ministry. I was president of the Christian Union, and I worked for my church, and I would do Sunday school and be team leader. I don't remember what it's called. Kind
Team
of
leader,
a leader in,
like in youth.
yeah,
Youth.
for
Okay.
a youth group leader. Yeah, thank you so much.
Something like
So
a
I
youth
was
group. Yeah. Okay.
always involved and
Gotcha.
invested in everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did go on short-term missions. So
Okay.
I wanted to act. I wanted to be active as a Christian and make a difference and make sure that Jesus would be known and people would know that Jesus loves them, so they would have an opportunity to know him. But it was more passive kind of short-term missions. So I think I started back when I was still in Paris, when I told my friends I wanted to go around the city and give people food and clothing and stuff, and they were super into it. So we just grabbed suitcases and we asked everyone to donate clothes and money to make sandwiches and coffee and hot chocolate. And we would just go around Paris and ask people, do you need anything, clothing, food? And then we would talk to them and see if we could pray for them and stuff. So that's kind of how I started. And then I had my first short-term mission when I was 18, which we planned completely with my friends, independently. So we went to Madagascar.
Oh, really? That's very
I
good.
went on other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And I went on other short-term missions in Lebanon and Bulgaria and stuff like this with my churches. And in 2017, so I was working, I'd finished my master's degree, I was a professional, and I would always use my work holidays to do missions.
Okay.
And I had a friend who was a missionary on the ship, so she was a missionary on Lagos Hope. And she said, basically, you can come as my guest, so like we can spend time together. And then I wasn't just a guest, so she planned a whole schedule for me so that I could be kind of part of the crew. So I worked in different departments on the ship, and then she planned some ministry for me and stuff. And I don't know, I think I was kind of expecting it to be like any other short-term mission I'd done. I was expecting to serve and go back home and get back to my life, and you know, I wasn't expecting
and keep moving.
Crazy to happen.
Yeah.
And then for the dates I could book my work holidays, I was on the ship for one port, which was Port-au-Prince in Haiti.
Okay.
So the ship was there, and I stayed for the whole stay that the ship was staying there. I stayed with the ship. So I flew from the UK to Haiti, and as soon as I stepped on the ship, it's like I could feel God's presence was so strong on that ship, which isn't really surprising, because the ship is 400 people from 65 different nationalities who left everything to serve God. Yeah. It's really big.
You know,
now we have a second ship.
Yeah, definitely. Just sorry to bother you, and just to cut you off on that one. You say 400 people, right?
Yeah.
Really? And people coming from different background, like from Europe, from Africa, from.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. It's like
so usually
when you said that, when you said that, I'm thinking about, you know, the image where when we will be in heaven, you know, people coming from different background all together, worshiping God.
Yes.
That's the picture I'm actually having in my mind right now while you're speaking about it. Really?
That is exactly it. I think so like a lot of stuff happened between that short-term mission and me becoming a missionary. God did so much. But that's how I felt. I felt like what I was living was the closest thing to what I could experience on earth. You know, to have like the smallest idea of what being in heaven with God would be. And it was just amazing. because it's all different people from all these different countries, from the American continent and Africa and
Yeah.
Asia and Europe and Australia,
Mm-hmm.
who just gather in that one place to go around the world and tell people about Jesus and make a difference and help people. And yeah, and I think I'd done missions before that, but it
Mm-hmm.
never had that impact on me. And this experience in particular was life-changing. So I was there
I
for
can
one
imagine.
port, because
Yeah.
the ship stays a few weeks or a few months in every country, and then it moves on to continue the work in other countries.
So
And
just again, I have one question. So you said the ship stay like for 1 month before moving to another country, which means that what do you guys do when you are at least on one side of a country? Do you go outside of your boat and do you meet some other people? Do you meet some local people here that side or not? Or do you only stay in your boat and waiting for people to come to visit you?
so it doesn't have to be a month. It can be somewhere between 2 weeks and 6 months, depending on the
Okay.
size of the country.
Mm-hmm.
But we do so many things in the country. So Logos Hope is a floating library. So it's the biggest floating
Oh.
library in the world.
Which means
So
that
people come.
do you guys sell books or something like that? Or
Yes, we sell books,
okay,
and what's really interesting is that the books have very low prices. So we have
oh, okay,
deals with publishing companies that give us the books
okay,
for very good prices, so we can sell them for very good
a
prices.
discount, yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, and people who don't have access to good literature in their country, they can come on board and they can buy everything they want, because there are books about everything. It can be about Christianity and faith and everything, but also mathematics, or like books for
Chemi-
children,
yeah,
or
chemical
science,
engineering,
or
yeah, science, this, yeah,
engineering,
okay,
like and
yeah.
anything that is interesting to you, history, geography. I don't know. We have books about everything. I think we, at the time when I was on the ship, we had maybe 5,000 titles of books.
Oh,
So
really?
there's a
Yeah,
huge range of options. And I remember
yeah.
particularly in Haiti, it was amazing,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember someone telling me we only have one library in the country, and it's kind of only for rich people. And basically, you could see people on the street selling books like that were on the pavement, and they
Yeah.
looked like the books were older than me. So I remember in Haiti, people were queuing for hours and hours under the sun. And it was so hot there just to get on the ship, and then they would get loads of books, and they were just so excited and happy.
I
And
can imagine. Yeah.
yeah.
That's I think that
so
might be a
so
cool experience. So did you at that time where when you were on that boat, did you experience like something miraculous? Do you have some with your people, with your peers on that boat? Did you have some worship time together? Do you have some prayer time? If is everything scheduled when you were on that boat in terms of what you need to do per days? What is your
yeah.
daily task on such topic?
Yeah. So everything is perfectly planned on the ship.
Okay.
It would take hours to explain the planning that there is behind everything, but basically, everyone has a job on the ship. So we're all crew
Okay.
members, but we have different
Okay. Okay.
jobs.
Okay.
So there's
Okay.
different departments, and
Okay.
everyone can work in a department. Um, you can give your top three departments that you would like to work in, and then they will possibly give you one of your top three preferences. So
Okay.
you work 5 days a week, and then you have one day for ministry full time minimum, and then we have one day for rest. And then what you do with your free time is up to you. So during your free time, you can do more ministry, or you can do
Okay.
activities. So we have passion groups. So you can do activities on the ship. And if you have
Mhm.
a special skill, like you know how to play an instrument, or you know
Yeah.
a special type of dance or sport, you can create a passion group, and then people like
Oh,
subscribe to be part of it,
that
and then
sounds
together
interesting.
we learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
was in different passion groups. So I played the ukulele, and I was in the a cappella group.
So
And
you know how to play a ukulele.
uh, a a bit. I
Kind
know a
of,
few chords.
right?
Like I'm not a professional, but
That's very
yeah, it was
interesting.
really cool, and it was in the
Yeah.
hip hop fashion group. But I don't know, there was so many different options there. So you can do that, and we have special times for prayer and worship and everything. So every morning before we start work, we have the devotions. So
Okay.
it's not mandatory, but most people go because they want to have that time with
With
God
God
and
and together
together
as
with
well.
the day.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And then I think it was on Thursday nights, we had prayer nights every Thursday. And then we would have the normal service on Sunday morning.
Hmm.
And then between ourselves, we would do our own things. We would do our own fellowship. So
Hmm.
basically, we were praying and worshiping all the time. It was scheduled, but also you could do your own thing and do more.
Yeah, that's interesting. I quickly want to also to touch on about your parents' reactions. I think when you left, you were still young, right? You were like
I,
you were still like
I
22, 25 or something like that.
Yeah, I was. I think the first time I went on the ship, I was 25, and then
Okay.
when I left my job and my life and became a missionary, I think I was 26.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah, I think I was 26.
how did your family react to you leaving all behind and going for God on a missionary?
I was actually really scared about this,
Okay. Okay. Why?
because like I kind of studied to have a normal life and a job
Hmm.
and a salary and
Yeah.
comfort and an apartment and everything.
Hmm.
And I was really scared to tell my parents. Even for myself, it was really hard. Like when God showed me that He wanted me to become a missionary and to be on the ship for 2 years, I was like, no way. Like I can't do this. It's too much. It's too hard. It's
Mm.
too scary and
Yeah.
everything. And God had to do so much work in me for me to accept that. Like I had to
Mm.
fast. I had to pray. But then when God confirmed it, it was amazing. And actually, I think He used my parents to confirm it, because when I
Amen.
got back, yeah, when I got back from the ship after we were in Haiti, so I went back to the UK, and I remember arriving at my apartment and sitting on my couch and being like, "This is not my home anymore." And I knew what God wanted, but I was so scared. Um, and I decided to fast until God made it very clear, because I was just too scared. Like comfort is such a trap. You have no
Yeah.
idea. When you have comfort, it's really hard
To go outside of your
to,
comfort zone. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
exactly, and to be completely obedient to God. And
Yeah.
I think He used my parents, because I was fasting, and every day at work during lunchtime I would sit in the filing cupboard, and I would
Okay.
just take my Bible and read the Bible, and I think God gave me different answers through the Bible and through a song in church, but I was still like, I knew what He wanted, but I was still too scared. And I went back to France for my birthday in September 2017. And I thought, okay, if God gives me an answer and He makes it possible for me to go on the ship, I need to introduce the idea that I might go on the ship when I'm
Hmm.
face to face. Because I'm not going to text them and say, "Hey, mom and dad, I'm
I'm
leaving
leaving
forever."
tomorrow.
Like,
Bye bye. I will see you
we're
next
not going
time.
to we're not going to see each other for years, and I'm going to be
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
really gone. And so I thought,
Yeah.
okay, I need to introduce the idea of possibly going on the ship when I
Hmm.
see them, when I'm in their home. And I was so scared. And I
Yeah, I
remember
can
I was
imagine.
talking
Yeah.
to a friend, yeah, and
Hmm.
I was telling her, it's gonna go so wrong. Like I know my